Okay, so the power hammer's up and running, as you probably saw in my last video, but I haven't actually used it for a lot yet. I've been making a few tools, and I thought I'd just do a quick video to show some of the tools I've made. Now the first one is just a piece of inch plate with a bit of 40mm by 6, that's about 1.5 by 1/4, wrap round the base of it. And that will just sit on top of the upright here, on top of the anvil. Take that die off and just drop it over the top. It'll protect the holes, the threaded holes, and give me a slightly bigger area to work on. So that's going to be quite useful. I think I can use it, you know, with all sorts of other things instead of having to keep swapping dies. I can use like the spring fullers and things on it. Now the first one here is one I've specially made. I've got to make some shackles to hold some springs onto a pony cart, and the material is an odd shape, so I had to make that, and that's what we're going to use today. These are the very first dies I ever made for the hammer, combination dies. Flat and round. Then this one I'm quite excited about, my kiss blocks. I've got 6, 8, 10 and 12mm on there, so that is going to be quite exciting. Spring swage, again with 8, 10 and 12mm holes. And this one finally, well it's not finally, this one is a wedge, just so I can do some shallow tapers. And then a quick flatter that I knocked up, just knocked a bit of steel into a fuller that I'd got on the anvil and stuck a handle on it. So let's see what any of them do. And we'll just whip this one off, because I want, as I say, I want to start with that other one. I'll just show you this one, how it just drops on. It's quite tight, which is by purpose, because I don't want to put any screws in it unless I absolutely have to. Obviously if it starts bouncing, then I shall put some grub screws around the side and tighten them up, and you know, hold that onto the anvil that way. So that's that. And you could, as I say, use spring fullers, not necessarily this one because I've got that bit sticking up, but all sorts of things in there. Get that off. Now this is the one I'm going to use first. This is the one I specially made. I don't know if you can see, it's sort of a shallow V. It's not half round, it's more of a V, but it's a soft little V. And what I should have done was made it go mount that way. It would have been much easier, but of course I didn't, and it mounts that way, which means I've got to come this way, which doesn't work, or I don't think will work quite as well, because it's using the whole of the upper die, whereas I think it would have been better if I just used it crossways and used the sort of the 2 inches of the die. Anyway, we'll soon see. Right, I've got a bit of 1/2 inch round, 12mm round. I'll do sort of half of it at a time, I should think. Get that warm. Just about do it. Just hammering in there nicely. As I say, I haven't really used the hammer much, so I'm not quite used to it yet, so it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. But so far, it seems very controllable, which I like. Yeah, nice. We'll do the other half. It makes light work of that, that's for sure. I'm not even on full power. I'm just sort of half pedal. Yeah, piece of cake with that. Nice. Right, I don't know if you can see it, the shape. I should have cut the end off really so I could see it better, but it's done a nice job. Just what I need. Now what I've got to do on the ends is I've got to put a round. So I'm going to use my swage fuller because I've got to put threads on the ends. So I'll do that on each end. But because that's quite low and my fuller won't go in, so I'm just going to raise the whole head up, which is what I really like about this design. It means you can get all sorts of different tools, different thicknesses of material and all sorts. It's as simple as that to adjust. It's just a hydraulic jack, and there we go. I want to make about 30mm between the top of the fuller and the hammer when it's at its bottom dead center. Just adjust my handle, tighten that up, or my pedal should I say. Let's give it a go. Nice. Again, not using full power yet, and it's a piece of cake. Look at that. Well, I'm well impressed with that. I wish this bloody camera would focus. I must invest in a new one. And let's do the other end. Yeah, goes a treat. I haven't put any oil or anything in the swage or the fuller. It's just running round on its own, and again, absolutely perfect. If this camera would focus you could see it, but it is absolutely spot on. There it is. Let's come on, focus you flaming thing. There we go. Look at that. That's a lovely even straight. Oh, I'll have to focus again. Yeah, anyway, it is perfect, absolutely pucker. And what I shall do next is bend them, and mark it and bend it, turn it into a shackle after I put the threads on each end. But this isn't about the shackle, this is about the hammer, so I'll put a link if I remember, so you can watch me making the shackle if you really want to. This is the next one I'm going to try, my kiss blocks. I'm quite excited about this one. I haven't used this yet. I've got, as I say, 6, 8, 10 and 12 on there, and they are put on with bolts. They're bolted on so that if necessary I can take them off and either replace them if they get damaged or put different size ones on. That just drops over the top there, screws up a big bolt there. It's a real fine threaded bolt. They're actually, I think they were from I think they were wheel nut studs or something or other from something. So that's got that nice and tight. Let's try out the 6mm to start with. I don't know if these ones will bounce. If they do, I might have to put a magnet on them to hold them down or something or other, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. This is a bit of 14mm round. And I've just realised what I haven't done. I've left the head up from when I had using my fuller, so I've got to drop it down again. So set it to bottom dead centre, undo the handles, and just let the jack down, just like a standard bottle jack. So until you get about 30mm. That's about it, roughly. Yeah. Do up your handles again. You know, some people say, oh, it's a right faff having all this adjustment, but then you have got the adjustment. You can. It makes it so much more versatile. And like with changing all the dies, yeah, I'm changing all the dies because I'm doing one job, or not doing one job. I'm doing lots of little jobs just to try them out. When you're doing a production run, you do all of one thing with one tool, then change it and do all the next bit with the next tool. So I don't think it's a faff at all. That's better. See how unstable my floor is in this place. Jumping about a bit. Come on, focus. But yeah, that runs lovely. Look at that. Try the 8mm. Not that there's really a lot of difference, so you probably won't even notice much. But it's there if I need it, if I want to make something 8mm. Yep. Just see the difference there. I won't bother with the 10, let's go straight to the 12. Well, I've still got a bit of heat left in this. And that did flop over, but it didn't really matter, or it won't matter if it's the 10 coming in when I'm using the 12, but it'll be a bit of a pain if the 12 comes over when I'm using the 10, so we'll see what happens. As I say, time will tell. If I'm doing a big job that I need one for, I can just take the other one off and put a spacer in. Oh yeah, works nice. Pleased with that. Considering I've never used a power hammer really since I was at college 40 odd years ago. Just going to try this flatter while I've still got a little bit of heat left. Yeah, works nice. I think I might just have to put tiny little radiuses on the bottom of that flatter though, because it's leaving lines, so that's something I need to do. That ain't exactly difficult. Now this one is just a wedge, just so I can do some tapers without having to use the combination dies. So I'm just going to whip this one off. Stick that one on. Actually, I'll just show you how this works. It's very simple. I've made the wedge, then just welded a piece of angle iron on, and the angle iron just drops down the back of the die, and then this clamps it all up nice and tight. So you can put any tool you like in there, as long as you've got a bit of angle iron on it. That will hold it nice and solid. I'll just heated up that bit that I flattened out and just give it a go with that, see what happens. Oh yeah. And obviously you can make different angles to suit the job you're doing. This one I've done, I think I've made it out of something relatively hard. I can't remember what it was. I think it was at the end of an old chisel. But unless you're doing masses, you could use just mild steel, so you could knock one up really quickly. and it you know, it'll last a fair old while, providing you're using hot steel on it, not going wild with some cold stuff. Yeah, quite like that. So I'm going to need some practice, because this is the first time I've used a lot of these tools. I've spent a lot of sort of free time making them. I'm not actually using them. So let's get this one off, and then I'm going to change the whole dies and put the combination dies on, see what we can do with them. So we're going to have to swap top and bottom of these. The magic of video, it's done in seconds, although it doesn't actually take all that long. And those nice long bolts make sure it's good and firm. Right, let's see what happens here. This is a bit of 5/8 square. Oh yeah, it's light work of that. And as I say, I'm still not using full power yet. And it's so controllable. Once I get the hang of how to use it, I think it's going to save me an awful lot of time and effort. Yeah, cracking tool. Let's give it a bit of beans with this. Again, it's still not quite full power, but it's really rocking the place, considering it's a bit cold. Yeah, good stuff. This is the other end of the 5/8 square. I'm just going to see what I can do with the square end, or the flat end of the die. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm loving this. That is so easy and so controllable. I didn't think it was going to be this controllable. I know people say they are, but I really didn't think it was going to be. I thought it was going to be sort of on or off, and the speed was going to be constant, but you could just adjust the blows lighter. But this, you can actually, I guess the pulley's spinning, or slipping on the tyre, but crikey, you can really get some controllability on it. Absolutely cracking. Yep, love it. I'm really going to have to start thinking about making some more tools, but I don't know what. I suppose I'll just wait to see what the jobs come in. Look at that. That's almost as good as putting it under a spring fuller, and not a mark in the dies. So this is just me having another play, but full view, so you can see what goes on in the shop, how far away from the forge the hammer is. Not far. The hammer looks nice and steady. There's no untoward rocking and rolling. It's bolted down on top of a piece of rubber, about a 3/8 bit of rubber, directly to the concrete. We'll see how it goes. Some parts of the concrete floor in the shop are shocking, but I managed to find this bit which was fairly solid. So yeah, I like this. I think it's going to save me a lot of time and a lot of effort. Let's see if I can use the flatter on that bit. Yes, I can, without having to adjust the head. Yeah, really liking it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. And subscribe if you haven't already. Click the like button or whatever, you know, all the usual things. Yeah, it's cracking. And with any luck, we'll catch you on another one. See you later.